This is the plaintiff, Charles Cormos. He says he ate a hamburger at the defendant's restaurant, became deathly ill, and was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. It was definitely something he ate at the defendant's establishment, and he thinks he should be reimbursed for his co-payments and for all he's been through. He's suing for $5,000 for hospital bills and pain and suffering. This is the defendant, Susie Page. She says the plaintiff was 1 out of 5 people to order a mushroom burger, and he was the only one who got sick. Food bacteria can take 7 days to become a problem in a human, and bad seafood can take up to 90 days to be felt. There's no way he ate anything bad at her place, and sorry, but she doesn't owe him anything. She's accused of dishing up a dirty meal.
Okay, Charles Cormos, you are suing Frank and Susie Page and the Swanee River Rendezvous Resort and Campground, which is located where?
In Mayo, Florida.
Okay. For $5,000 in damages as a result of food poisoning that you say you received at their restaurant. All right, what happened?
We checked in about 5 o'clock.
And now this is a campgrounds?
Campground and a hotel.
Okay. Did you check into the hotel or were you in an RV?
We checked into a hotel.
Okay.
We weren't camping. We didn't bring any food with us. And we never left the property once we got there. About 7:30, we had a meal. And about 4 hours later, I had the effects of food poisoning. I was nauseated, started vomiting, more vomiting. Then I had diarrhea and vomiting at the same time. And that continued through the night. My wife wanted to call the ambulance immediately, but I was hoping that once I purged everything out, I would feel better. But then I started having dry heaves, and after that I was pretty much helpless. I had no choice but to go to the hospital to get some stabilizing treatment.
And you had been there for how long?
Just one night.
That was the day you checked in?
Yep.
Where had you had lunch?
We didn't have lunch that day. We were
Where
on
had you had breakfast?
We had breakfast at home.
Okay, at what time?
Probably about 8 a.m. before we left.
You didn't eat anything from 8 a.m. until 11 hours later?
I had a soda after the tubing down the river.
Okay. You're a better man than I am. Go ahead.
Well, when you're outdoors and you're busy and doing
I've been
stuff
outdoors.
like that, I don't get hungry.
I've been outdoors and I get hungrier. Okay? Then I get a bear's appetite as opposed to, you know, a 5'2" woman's appetite. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
So it's 7:30, you have the meal, and you said 4 hours later?
It was about 11:30.
Okay, you get sick. It's now what time when you decide you have to go to the hospital?
It was about daybreak. I don't really know what time it was at that point.
So you call the ambulance. The ambulance takes you to the hospital. Do you have the hospital records and the doctor's report here?
They give you this when you're discharged.
I don't want a discharge paper. I want to see what they say you had. In other words, you're here saying I had food poisoning. I want to see the doctor's report that you had food poisoning, declaring that that's what you had. Do you have that?
That's what it says on here.
Okay, give me whatever evidence you have to support what you're saying. It's not an unusual request on the judge's part. All right, let me hear from you, Ms. Page.
The Comos family did not have reservations. They were a walk-in.
Okay.
And they checked in that night into a motel room at my resort. They ordered a meal at my Grandma Susie's Cooking Shack. And Mr. Cormos
They ordered a meal where?
At it's Grandma Susie's Cooking Shack. It's
Grandma Susie? Are you Grandma Susie?
I'm Grandma Susie.
You look way too young to be Grandma Susie. All right, Grandma Susie's Cooking Shack. What kind of food do you serve?
And it's a vendor's wagon that's at the resort.
Okay.
A big vendor's wagon. They get the food there. They can sit outside on the picnic tables overlooking the river and spring, or they can sit inside the lodge, or they can take it back to their room.
That's where you ate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they ate inside the lodge.
Okay.
And he ordered a mushroom Swiss burger, and I don't remember what the daughter and his wife ate.
Okay.
I don't recall that.
All right.
And then the next day, Mrs. Cormos, his wife, came in to check out to say that they had brought Mr. Cormos to the hospital for food poisoning. And I said, well, you need to check out where he has eaten because nobody got sick at my facility. And if one person cannot get sick from bad food at a restaurant, that the standard, industry standard is 3. If you have 3 cases, then there's an investigation. And
Okay.
I had none.
One person can get sick.
One
from
person can get
foodborne
sick from
illness.
food.
But an investigation won't be launched against a restaurant unless 3 or 2. I thought it was 2.
Well, the 2005 standard says 2, and that's the one that I copied off, but both of my inspectors told me 3.
Okay.
So
But in other words, there have to be multiple cases.
Right.
Otherwise, it could just be the flu.
it could
is what
just be
you're
the flu,
saying.
or they could have gotten it someplace
Were
else.
there any other people who reported to you being sick?
No.
So can you get food poisoning, the symptoms, 4 hours after eating a mushroom burger?
Absolutely.
Really, it happens, boom, that fast?
Yeah. Entirely. Who's woken up, like, feeling ill?
Woken up, but you have to go to sleep first. What do you think?
4 hours isn't that fast. That could definitely happen.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, what do I know? Going inside the courtroom.
Mr. Kormos, do you have any evidence from the health department, either verbal or written, that someone else complained about receiving a foodborne illness from there that night?
No, but what everybody's talking about is incorrect information.
Well, that's not true. I'm reading the FDA
science.
reports,
The science
and I'm
of
reading
food
the-
poisoning is different than that.
Okay, why don't you tell me what the science of food poisoning is?
Okay. Almost everybody gets food poisoning in their life, whether they know it or not. If you put a plate of contaminated food out here in the courtroom and everybody ate from it, some people would get very sick, some people would get a little sick, and some people would not get sick at all.
That's true.
That's the science of it.
Okay.
So if a restaurant thinks that everybody didn't get sick, so it can't be my problem.
No. That's not what the restaurant's saying. So I need you to address this. What she's saying is, how are you going to prove in a court of law, by a preponderance of the evidence, that you got sick through contaminated food here today, as opposed to that you caught the flu? You told me that's what it says here. I don't know why you said that, because I read the document you handed me, and it does not say food poisoning. Did I miss something? What it says is abdominal pain of unknown causes. Did I miss something?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm
there's
going
a
to hand the
further-
document back to you, and you're going to highlight there for me, please, what I missed.
What you missed isn't written there.
Oh,
I would have
then
to-
I didn't miss it, did I?
You have to understand.
I said, no, you have to understand. Then I didn't miss it, did I? I didn't miss it, right? It doesn't say food poisoning on the document where you said that that's what it says here. You said the phrase, that's what it says here, because you're missing the doctor's documents where they would conclude that you had food poisoning. They can't conclude it. No one can conclude it, including me. Because the science of food poisoning, may I educate you now for a moment, comes from all of the written authorities which I have read before walking out here. These are very, very tough cases to prove. And very tough cases to prove, which I think you should have known before you walked in here with sort of like indignance that you have walked in here with. According to the FDA, some of the symptoms of food poisoning might not come out until 2 to 5 days later. It depends on the bacteria that cause the foodborne illness. So in order to prove a case of food poisoning, you're going to have some evidence. And most times that's going to look like other people also got sick. You're right. Other people may not get sick. But unless you come in here with some evidence, you could have gotten sick from some bacteria that you received in some way other than the foodborne illness. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I know you feel that it was the burger, and I know all of us. I've been retching over a toilet and convinced it was the fish. Okay, so I understand why you are 100% convinced that it was the burger. I understand that. But do you understand that in a court of law, you're going to have to walk in with some kind of proof besides your hunch? This certainly isn't proof because it's not in there. In fact, it's the opposite is in there. Abdominal pain of unknown causes. All right. In this case, I have no choice but to rule in favor of the defendant.
Well, he comes out of here with nothing. The plaintiff loses this case. How sick you feeling now?
Well, I'm a little bit disappointed. I do realize it's hard to prove, but
Well, you just knew it. I mean, you just knew that's what made you sick. I mean, could you be wrong?
I'm certain I'm not wrong.
Okay, you know it was that, mushroom burger?
I'm certain.
Right?
Yeah.
But proving it, you see, is something entirely different.
Well, proving it with a preponderance, I thought would be a little bit easier because you don't have that much of a burden of proof. If you want to absolutely prove it beyond reasonable doubt.
What are you going to have for lunch today?
I'm eating at home.
All right, head right around the corner there, okay? Good luck. All right, so come on in here. What was it like to have your reputation on the line like that?
It was scary.
Yeah.
But I've been in the food business for a long time, and I know that the actual #1 cause of foodborne illness is personal hygiene. People don't wash their hands before they eat, and they don't wash their hands after
blaming
they go
the
to the
customer?
bathroom. No, it's one of the top 5 reasons for foodborne illness. If
All right,
a bunch
let's see
of
what
people
Harvey
get
has.
sick.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, without a doctor, it's almost impossible to win a case like this. The judge has no idea what else the plaintiff ate. There's no way of isolating any of that. You need some kind of an expert, and the only real expert you can get in a situation like this is a doctor.